So we always want to start all of our classes with a warm-up. So it's important to note that the 3 actor tools are body, voice, and imagination. So we always make sure in every class that we warm up all of those things, and we also have an improv section. It's important to note that when I go into classrooms in schools, a lot of times teachers tell me that they want the students to work on speaking louder and speaking clearer and having more of the confidence. So by warming up these tools and then using them later in our exercises, that will definitely help them speak louder and gain the confidence later. So, Marissa.
All right. So just like a brief little body warm-up, we'll just start. Make sure there's a little space. Just like roll your shoulders back a little bit. Do some rolls and switch directions. Reach up real tall, so tall, and then let your wrists go. Let your elbows go. Let your shoulders go. Let everything else go. Shake it out. Then you're going to slowly roll up, making sure your head is the last thing to come up straight. Center your head. Take a big breath in. Sigh out on sound. One more breath. And sigh out on sound. Shake it up. Get a little loose. Get a little loose. We can play some more games. You can do all sorts of things. This is a nice, quick little get everything going. And that's how we warm up our bodies. So with the voice, we want to practice diction and we want to practice projecting. So that makes sure that the students are speaking clearly and enunciating, and also that they're speaking loud enough for people to hear them without shouting and hurting their voices. So one good segue from the body warm-up into a vocal warm-up is what we call prune and apricot. So you're going to make your face very small, prune, 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 and then go big with apricot. So it just helps warm up the mouth area. Prune, 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 apricot. And then we can go into some diction exercises. With this one, we're going to just hit some consonant sounds. So you can have the students repeat after me, or after they've learned it for a while, they can just sort of do it with you. So we're going to do ba, 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 bibbleby bee, bibbleby bee, bibbleby, bibbleby, bibbleby bee. Da, 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 da. Diddledy dee, diddledy dee, diddledy, diddledy, diddledy dee. Ga, 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 ga. Diddledy dee, diddledy dee, diddledy, diddledy, diddledy dee. Ka, 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 ka. Kiddledy key, kiddledy key, kiddledy, kiddledy, kiddledy key. Ma, 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 ma. Nibbly me, nibbly me, nibbly, nibbly, nibbly me. Pa, 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 pa. Pippledy pee, pippledy pee, pippledy, pippledy, pippledy pee. Ta, 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 ta. Tiddledy tee, tiddledy tee, tiddledy, tiddledy, tiddledy tee. This is also the section where we would go into any tongue twisters that you want to try out, or you could do the same exercises we just did, adding in more consonant sounds. So after we get our diction warmed up, feeling like we are ready to enunciate, then we want to start working on projection, starting with the diaphragm. So one way to help the students really clue into this, you can have them put their hands on their stomach right here and try out a belly laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. And then see if they can send the sound across the room, but not straining their voice, but coming from that place, the same place as the belly laugh. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. I'm going to say, hey, you over there. Hey, you over there. Those old boats don't float. Those old boats don't float. And so by working on those open vowel sounds, that really helps them connect with the breath and send the sound across the room.
So the next section that's very important to warm up is our imagination. So there's lots of different things you can do with this. We just like to do some wordplay with it. So shaka laka laka, shaka laka laka, shiki liki liki, shiki liki liki, shaka laka laka, shaka laka laka, shiki liki liki, shaka laka laka, shaka laka laka, shiki liki liki, shiki liki liki. Good important to do is to develop a strong sense of ensemble. So I think the most important thing to do if the kids don't already or if they need some reminders is it's always important to learn each other's names and to make sure the kids know each other's names, or if not, that they're able to introduce each other to each other. So one thing I like to do at the beginning of every class is a name and gesture. So, what's a gesture? Somebody tell me what a gesture is. What's a gesture?
A physical motion.
So what we like to do is we'll ask them that. What's a gesture? You tell me. So, like, my name is Sarah, and my favorite superhero is Superman. So then the whole class would be able to repeat that back. So, my name is Sarah. Her name is Sarah. And her favorite superhero is?
And her favorite superhero is?
All together, Superman! So we would just like to do that, go around the class. You can do it with anything, favorite food, favorite color, things like that. And another way to develop ensemble is some different ensemble building exercises or games. So what we're going to do now is something called the one-word story. So it's where you go down in a line and you tell a story, but you can only use one word. So I will start. One day
I
went
to
the
mall
and
saw my
giraffe
eat all of
the
ice cream.
period.
There we go.
That's 2 words. It's fine. So we try to have the students help each other out and say words that would be appropriate in the next sentence. They have to work together to tell the story instead of just one idea happening at a time. So yeah, now we can move on to our improvisation section.
Right, so one of the main rules, or there's really 2 main rules of improv. One is don't say no, because that ends the scene. The other main thing is yes and. Not just yes, because that would just continue the scene, but you also have to give and build upon the scene. These are the main tenets that will help strengthen all of these things. It will help build the ensemble. It will help create a safe environment for them. So one of the ways to start off is a fun game I like to call What Are You Doing? So all it is someone starts miming a physical action. The simpler the better. The more everyday, the better. So Larissa, do you want to start? Hey Larissa, what are you doing?
I am doing jumping jacks.
Right. So she's saying doing jumping jacks, which leads me to do jumping jacks. And then Danielle will ask me,
Mike, what are you doing?
I'm playing the violin. So Danielle will then play the violin.
Danielle, what are you doing?
I am combing my hair. Sarah, what are you doing?
I am riding a horse.
All right, let's pause real quick. So then how we build upon this game, you can do many things with this game, but the fun way to get their imaginations going and kind of thinking in an outside-the-box way is to add 2 things. Sometimes things that really could not realistically happen or would never happen in real life. So you're riding a horse. So give me 2 things. Hey Larissa, what are you doing?
I am putting on a wedding dress in outer space. Mike, what are you doing?
I am brushing my teeth while flying an airplane.
Danielle, what are you doing?
I am painting my nails while watching my little brother.
What are you doing? I am baking a cake while riding a skateboard.
There we go. If you want to, if you really want to challenge them, you can do 3 things at once, but also what we like doing, which we won't necessarily show you, is you can add different genres to it, so everyone has to be a cowboy, that it has to be, normal, mundane, or everyday things, or everyone has to be a pirate. You can kind of tailor it to whatever, you want. The other main thing of improv, one of the main games that we use is freeze. So it's when 2 people will start a scene. That can be, from the audience, you can gather, location and relationship, and then preferably we try to tell the students the scene should be physical in some way. They should be trying to do something physical. That way they can connect their imagination, their voice, their body. They're all using it at once. So Danielle and Sarah, would you like to do a 2-person improv scene?
Sure.
All right. Can we have a location suggestion, Larissa, or anybody?
Antarctica.
Antarctica, okay. Can you be 2 scientists in Antarctica? Let's see what that is.
All right. Can you pour that into the water, please? What? Okay, all right. Gently. Okay. Now, what do you see happening?
It looks
Okay, and freeze. So then when someone jumps in, they take the physicality of one person, so they tap someone out, and then they start a completely new scene that has nothing to do with Antarctica or scientists. All right, we have to hide from everyone. I don't think anyone's going to find us here, okay? All right. Oh, I think they're almost done counting. Oh, here they come. Oh my gosh. And then, the scene can progress, and then someone else can jump in. Oh.
I think is he coming?
Oh, yes, he's coming. Oh my gosh.
Freeze. Nice kitty. Nice kitty. Do you want to play?
And freeze. So all these scenes had a vocal element, a physical element, and so forth. And what you can do with freeze, a lot of times, again, you can add different genres. You can make it a silent freeze, so no one can use words. They just have to use body language or maybe sound effects. And all of this, really the point is, any of these improv exercises can be tailored to whatever specific needs you want to accomplish. These are just the base level, the very simplest levels of these things.
So the last thing we like to do is, if the students have gotten through all their work or created the play or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, we like to play a quick game with them if they've deserved it. So Larissa, would you like to give us a game?
All right, let's play a quick round of Wax Museum. So I need my best wax statues in an animal museum. So the point of this game is that I am working in this museum and I have to dust my statues, but they're supposed to be moving around, and if I catch one of them moving, then they're out. So, I'm dusting. You're out. Dust. Oh, these statues are so dusty. So you move. So that would mean Sarah won the game because she was the last one. I didn't see her move.
So I think really quickly, just to recap, we can go back and talk a little bit about how these will help you in your classroom. So I can start. The ensemble building exercises are really great for doing just that, building the ensemble. It's for having the students make silly physical choices with their bodies so that once they've all done that together, they're not afraid to shout out an answer in class. They won't feel like they'll be judged by their peers because they're all in it together. Does anyone want to restart back to their exercises? So how will vocal exercises help them in class?
So the vocal exercises help them enunciate and also help them project. That means that they will always be heard and will be speaking clearly, so they can be understood, whether this is being understood on stage, being understood while giving a presentation, or just in life.
Just like warming up your body can help anyone in class, because when you're sitting down for so long, everyone gets a little frustrated with such things. I know I used to. So it's just nice to get up and just kind of like restart so you're just ready to do this class and move on with that.
And improv would, of course, help people think on their feet, but also think critically, especially with freeze, because you're trying to find a physical position that someone's in and you want to jump in and turn it into something else. It's about using imagination, but also being able to present that clearly and articulately on the spot.
Awesome.